And we're live. And this is Thomas, and we are hosting a little late weekend scrum for Agile Ventures. And together with me, I have Sampriti and Krasimir, right?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, Krasimir is a student of the AV 102 course, managing distributed teams. Welcome to Agile Ventures. Tell us about yourself. Where are you from, Krasimir?
Thank you. I'm from Bulgaria.
Okay.
And I'm a web developer, but I mostly work in PHP, and I'm trying to learn some Ruby on Rails. So I took the SAS courses, both courses on edX, and now I joined this course because I thought it would be interesting, and I would be able to learn more about Ruby if I help some other people get around in the courses.
Cool. Welcome to the wonderful world of Ruby and Ruby on Rails. Have you worked with any frameworks within PHP or just?
Yes, I work in Symfony 2 mostly.
Ah, okay.
Which is, by the way, somewhat similar to Ruby on Rails because it uses some ORM. It uses Doctrine too, and it's quite similar to Active Records, although the pattern is a bit different. It uses the data mapper pattern and not Active Record, but it's quite similar, and the templating system that it uses Twig is also similar to ERB. Okay. So all of the concepts are pretty similar.
All right, cool. So the learning curve for you isn't that steep, I guess, to make the switch to Ruby on Rails.
Yes, it's not a problem, although I find that sometimes when I have to program something in Ruby, I think in terms of how I would do it in PHP, and I try to emulate that, which is not the Ruby way, and I'll have to struggle a bit with that, but I think I'll figure it out eventually.
That will fade away after a while, I guess. All right, let me go to screen share and let's do Scrum. So our members, and let's start with some pretty. What have you been up to? What are your plans? And if there do you have any impediments, Sampriti? Anything stopping you?
No, I was just learning some backbone that I from code school. So I was just going through. They have these two courses on code school for learning backbone, and I was just going through those courses. So it's basically learning for doing, just learning, no doing today. So.
Okay. Okay.
I mean for Agile Ventures at least. So I'll be just I will learn take some of the courses from code school. And that's it.
Okay. And your plans? Is there? Are you going to work on some Agile Ventures related stuff today?
Yeah. So the dependencies PR, I managed to fix. I think partially solve that cucumber issue, and then now I realized that there is a Jasmine error, so I fixed that Jasmine error as well.
Okay. So, all right. Yeah. Are you going to be free?
Sorry. I'll be free preparing.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Then I go. I do myself since this is Kasimir's first Scrum. I've been. What have I been doing? Well, I've been going over some pivotal tracker stories, moving them around a little bit in the icebox. I clicked finish on the ones that have been merged. Brian did he merged in some pull requests yesterday, and I was just updating those instances in Pivotal Tracker. And I plan to potentially work a little bit on the statistics feature branch that I'm working on right now. But other than that, I have some client work to do. So I don't know how available I will be. It's Saturday, so family calls a little bit on me. No impediments in terms of any programming issues. Just the usual lack of time, but that hurts all of us, I guess. Okay, and Casimir, do you have an account on Agile Ventures?
Yes, I have, and also have an account on Pivotal Tracker, so I can.
Okay, what is your username on Agile Ventures?
I used an email address. I don't think it prompted me for a username.
Okay. What's the first prefix in your?
Okay, I can send it in the chat if you want.
Yeah. So we can just pull out your.
Yes. Here it is.
Krasi. Okay. There you go. Okay. So if you want, you can go in. You can edit this. So I see that you just joined actually a second
Yes,
ago.
I haven't looked around yet. So
Yeah. So if you go to your once you logged in, if you go to your account, you can edit your profile, and there you can set your first name, last name, and perhaps a short bio. You can set some skills if you like.
okay, great.
So yeah, there are some other settings, of course, in there. So yes, I guess this is you just joined Angel Ventures, so you haven't been working on anything. But have you poked around a little bit about our open source projects? Have you seen our site?
I had a quick look at the list of the projects, yes, but I haven't reviewed any project yet in details.
Just to yes, a short brief on that. The ones that are mostly active in terms of development are the Ostra project, Ostra support system, and I know that they have relatively small dev teams. So if you're interested, I assume that they are always looking for new developers, and they are developing a administrative support system for a non-profit in UK, and that non-profit works in sponsoring orphans in Syria. So it's a worthy cause, and there's a lot of action in that project, a lot of momentum. So if you're interested in working on something, Ostra is a good place to start. Other than that, we have the website One project, which is the application behind ventures.org. That I am the project manager for that project, and we also have the local support system that we are building for a UK non-profit. It's a directory of local charities in London, in an area of London. It's a fairly mature project. It's I think it's page 3. What? Somebody, do you remember what the Rails version they're using? Yeah. So. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, that's it's also a relatively mature project run by Sam Joseph, the founder of Agile Ventures.
Okay.
So these 3 projects are the ones that are mostly active right now. There's a lot of stuff. But if we have a look at Pivotal Tracker, I'd like us to vote on a story today. So let's go to website One. Tracker. Since I'm project lead on that project, I can I can conduct a vote, so basically a story that I would like us to vote on to estimate is advanced statistics for user profile. So the user story for that feature is as a site user, in order to get a better overview of a specific user's activity on the website One, I would like to access some in-depth statistics for that particular user. And let me just show you what I mean by that. You go to a members page, like mine, for instance. I would like us to have some sort of information, whether directly on the or if we introduce a tab view in one of the tabs with information such as how long the member has been registered, the specific join date, days since last login, then says last activity, perhaps a projects count, a login count, if the user is online or offline, but that's actually covered by another story, and the last IP address, or something like that. So rather, we also have karma points that are assigned by certain activities that the user conducts in this site. So most of this information is stored in the database, in the model, because we're using device. So there are a lot of timestamps, and we have karma points incorporated already. We have status, whether the user is online and offline already. I think device tracks login count. So pretty, does it?
Yes, it does. Sign-in count.
Yes. So basically, what we want to do here is display information, access information about that particular user and display it. But the information itself is already there. So there are no particular changes to the model that needs to be done. It's mainly a view thing. Go ahead, Amriti.
It's more basically like just finding out the data according to the needs and displaying it in a visually attractive manner. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And cover it with some view specs, and potentially write a simple cucumber scenario. Just when a user visits that a user profile and clicks on a tab or something like that. If there's actually any interaction that needs to be done by the user of this feature, then we should have a cucumber scenario. If the information is displayed automatically, I don't think we should have a cuc for this. Me and Brian talked a lot about cucumber scenarios, and one of the basic criteria is whether there is a user interaction needed to display some features, attributes. Other than that, we said that we should take it easy with cucumbers and rather have view specs to test for those things. So, Casimir, in our project, we are estimating stories with 3 criteria. It's either an easy story, then we give it a point of 1. It's a medium story, then it's given a 2, and 3 is for a complex story that will take some time. Then, if we would feel that this story is worth more than 3 points, then it should be split up into separate stories. Yes, this is basically it. Do you have any questions about the feature itself?
No, it's quite clear. And if all of the information is already collected in the database, it would be an easy story, in my opinion.
Yes, but let's stick to the workflow. The way we conduct votes is that you open your chat window,
okay,
and you type in a value, but you don't press enter. We press enter simultaneously. In that way, we're not.
So we're not affected by.
Yes, affected. Okay. In real life, during a scrum, people play something called scrum poker or poker. They write their estimates on a card, and then they flip the cards simultaneously. But we're using the chat window as a substitute for that. So if we're ready to vote, let's type in the value now.
Okay.
And on the count of 3, we will hit enter. So 1, 2, 3, enter. Okay.
Okay.
So now we estimate it to 1 and save this, and we're all done. So if the client will prioritize this story, it will be moved to the backlog, and then it will be free for any developer to start working on. So that's the way this works. Okay. Any other business, guys?
Thomas, are you free after this?
I will be. Yes. I have some issues with some view spec that I was writing, so I would need your input on it.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it after Scrum. I'm gonna stop the broadcast, but stick around, guys. Okay.
Okay.